Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I just want to start out by saying I have been MIA this past week. Unfortunately, I had to take care of my mom who was tested positive for COVID, and when she was no longer contagious, I went over there and for several days and sort of made sure she was eating and drinking and getting some exercise. So she could recuperate. And then a couple days ago, my husband tested positive for COVID. So it's been one thing after the other. But today's video is going to be a makeup brush declutter. I have never done one of these, and I really need to. What you're seeing right now are all face brushes. This doesn't even go into the eye brushes that I have. And I put them all together in a bin. Now, keep in mind, some of these are dirty. In fact, the majority of these that you see on the floor are dirty. And I will wash the ones that I'm decluttering. I will wash and pass those on to Project Beauty Share so they can fully sanitize them and pass them on to women in women's shelters. The remainder I will keep and put those back in the bin for washing my next go round. So let's get started. So this first category I have here are base brushes and concealer brushes. So let's start with this one. This is an IT Cosmetics. This is called Love is the Foundation Brush. And it's sort of like it's in this really cute heart shape. I love this brush. I love all the IT Cosmetic brushes. So I'm definitely keeping that one. Then this one here is from Complexion, and this is a foundation brush. I love the triangular shape on this. It really gets into every nook and cranny, and I happen to love Complexion as a brand, so I'm going to keep this one. Then this one here I got from Bare Minerals when I purchased the holiday edition of their loose mineral foundation powder. And I used this quite a bit with it, and I just switched out the brushes, maybe a month ago. So this one really needs a good cleaning, but I am going to keep that one. Then we have this one here. This is actually from Tarte, and this is a foundation brush, but this side is not necessarily a concealer brush. This to me is good for setting under the eyes with powder, but it's just not a brush that I reach for a lot, so I'm going to be decluttering that one. Then we have this brush here. This one is from Alamar Cosmetics. I love Alamar brushes. They're such high quality. This is a foundation brush, and I'm going to keep that one. Then we have here, this is a Sonia Kashuk concealer brush. Again, please excuse that they are dirty. I will be washing them. I just did not have time before the video. So this is not a brush I reach for a lot, so I'm going to declutter it. Then we have this one here from Real Techniques. This is also a foundation buffing brush, but it's very small compared to the brushes that I like to use, so I'm going to pass this one on. And then here's an IT Cosmetics brush here. This is more along the lines of, it can be used for foundation and cream products, but I also love it for powder products, so I'm going to keep that one. And then we'll bring some of these closer, all the remainder of these closer here. So then we have another Real Techniques. This is an older Real Techniques brush. This is the Complexion blender brush. So this is a really nice little foundation brush, but it's not dense enough for buffing in the foundation, so I'm going to pass that one on. Then we have, this was from a holiday set from Wet n Wild. This is their foundation brush. It's a decent brush. It does a good job. I'm going to pass that on. This is another Real Techniques. Now, this is a newer version. This kind is pretty cool. It's a nice brush that you can use to blend foundation, but you can also use it to blend in your bronzer as well. And it has this little business here, so that way when you're done or when you've washed it, you can just slide this right down. and it will keep it nice and clean until you're ready to use it again. I think I might keep that one. This one here is from Billion Dollar Brows, and this is the Sculpting Duo brush. So this is a sort of a foundation blender and then a little concealer brush. I already have a couple of these, so I'm going to pass that on. Then we have this one here. I'm not sure what brand this is. Oh, this is a Sigma brush. Sigma brushes are just such high quality. I love my Sigma brushes of all kinds. So this is a really pretty pink foundation buffer. Sorry. This is a really pretty pink foundation buffer brush, which I'm going to keep. Then we have Luxie brushes here, and this is the round top blender. So it's a foundation blender with a slightly rounded top, which is really, really effective when blending in your foundation. Just love the Luxie brushes. They're such high quality. So I'm going to keep that one. And then I have some concealer brushes here. So this one is from Vasanti, and this is their concealer brush. I have quite a few concealer brushes like this, so I'm going to pass that on. This one here is from Morphe and Jaclyn Hill. This is a really good concealer brush. It reminds me a lot of the blending brushes, but this is much smaller for the under eye area, and I love this. I think I have two of these. One in with my everyday brushes and an extra, so I'm definitely keeping that one. And last but not least, I have this Smashbox concealer brush. Now this brush is technically a precise highlighter brush, but this is the precise shape that I like. When I'm not using a small buffing brush under the eyes, I'm using this one, this type of brush. And I have one that I got in my BK Beauty and Angie Hot and Flashy collab that I really enjoy for the concealer. So this I'm going to pass on. So that was all cream products. Now we have left some powder products. So we're going to start over here. I'm going to bring a bunch forward here. So we have right here, this one is from Isaac Mizrahi. I think I got this one at a TJ Maxx. This is a really nice, fluffy powder brush. I love this kind of brush. It is so fluffy. There's no density to it, and I love that, keeping that. Then, of course, we have another Luxie. Oh, this is another foundation blending brush. This one's slanted, and I love these brushes, so I'm keeping that. This one here is from... well, I'm not sure what this is from. It doesn't have any name on it. This is a powder brush. Again, very light and fluffy. But I already have a couple of these, so I'm going to pass that on. Then we have this one from Real Techniques. This is a light layer brush. This is, the bristles here are long and splayed. And that's so that you don't put a whole lot of powder on, and you just get a light dusting of powder on this brush. I bought it because I thought it was pretty cool, but I really don't use it, so I'm going to pass that on. And then I have this one here. This is the Moda brushes. This is more like a bronzer brush, and I really like this style for bronzer, so I'm going to keep it. Now we're going to bring some more of these down. So this is an AOA Studio powder brush. And this one is a little less fluffy and a tiny bit more dense. And I don't really love a dense brush for powder. So I'm going to pass that on. Then we have this one here. This is an e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush. These are the kind of brushes I love to use for bronzer. And I really like the e.l.f. brushes. Very soft. And again, I'm going to keep this one. Then we have Complex Culture, and as I said to you earlier, I love Complex Culture brushes. This is their powder brush, and I love this brush, so I'm going to keep it. This is a powder brush from Sonia Kashuk from an old spring line of brushes she had, and I have plenty of powder brushes. I don't need that. That's going to go. This one here is from Too Faced. This is the Mr. what is this called? The Mr. Right brush. This I would use for like bronzer or something like that. But frankly, I do already have a couple of really nice bronzer brushes that I really enjoy, so I'm going to pass that on. Then we have another Complex Culture brush here. This one is a press and set bronzer brush. I love Complex Culture, and I love that these are so soft, so I'm going to keep that. Then I have this one here. This is an e.l.f. powder brush. It's got the clear handle. This is a very big powder brush, and I used it quite a bit and put it in my bin, and I haven't used it in a while, but I have those other powder brushes that I like better, so I'm going to pass that on. And lastly, this is one from Moda. Unfortunately, these Moda brushes don't label what they're for. Again, I would probably use this for bronzer. I actually don't really need this, so I'm going to pass it on. Let's bring some more of these down. Now, keep in mind that these are just face brushes we're going over right now. Next, we're going to go into eye brushes. So this one here from Wet n Wild, and this is, see if they'll label it. It is not labeled as to what it is. This one is, again, it could be used for, it's very fluffy, and I love that in these brushes. These are actually quite nice. I would probably use this for bronzer. I'm going to put that in the maybe pile. Then we have this one here. This is another Tarte brush. It's a double-ended brush. So this side is more along the lines of I would use for contour, because I think it's too small for blush or bronzer. And then the other end is something like this, which I think is perfect for applying powder under the eyes. But again, I have a lot of brushes that do both of these things that I really love, so I'm going to pass that on. So this brush from Luxie is a nice brush for blush. I like a fluffy brush with no density for my blush, because I'm not one who likes a lot of blush, just enough to give my cheeks a little bit of a you know, of a nice fresh look. And I like something that's not very dense. And this one is pretty nice. It's as you can see, it's quite fluffy. So I think I'm going to keep that one. Then we have this one here. This one is, and I don't know what this one is. This does not have a brand on it. And I think I might have purchased this from Target at some point. This is a blush brush, but I really don't need it. I have a lot of blush brushes that I really love, so I don't reach for this one. I'm going to pass it on. Then we have this one here. Now, what is the brand on this? Is this... I don't know what the brand is on this. It's got this pretty star-like handle, and this is what I would consider a blush brush. A little too dense for my liking. I'm going to pass it on. Then we have here another Alamar brush here. This is a great bronzer brush. I like this because it does have a little bit of density, but it is fluffy, so I'm going to keep that. Then we have this one from Real Techniques, and this is, they call this a base brush, but frankly it's not dense enough for base. I'm going to pass that on. Look at this pretty brush right here. That handle is so pretty. This is from BH Cosmetics, and this is a Deluxe blending brush. I love the handle on this brush, that holographic handle. It's rather dense, but still a little bit of fluffiness to it, but not one I tend to reach for a lot. So I'm going to declutter. And then here's another one similar to the light powder brush. This one's more for blush, I believe. Yeah, light layer blush, but it's not, it has too much density to it, so I'm going to pass that on. Now let's reach out for some more brushes here. So we have this one here. This is from Profusion, and this is a nice blush brush, a little dense for my liking for blush, so I'm passing that on. This set is from BH Cosmetics, and it's my Ray Ray. This brush is perfect for dusting powder under the eyes. I really liked this set of brushes, and I used them quite a bit when I purchased them a couple years ago. But I have a couple of these kind of brushes coming up, and I think I'm going to pass that on. This is another BH Cosmetics, and it's my Ray Ray brush. These brushes only have numbers, they don't have names, but this is a great sort of bronzer brush to use. And so I think, but I don't really need it, so I'm going to pass that on. Then we have another Alamar brush. This one is a brightening brush. So this is more for like highlighter. And I do like these kind of brushes for highlighter. The other thing it's good for is setting the concealer under the eye. And of course, I love Alamar brushes, so I'm going to keep that. This one is a Lisa Frank brush that in conjunction with Glamour Dolls. And it's a blush brush. You know, it has a little bit of density to it, which I don't necessarily like for blush. So I'm going to pass that on. Then we have this one here from Real Techniques. And this is a setting brush. So this was made to be used for setting under the eyes. I do like this brush, so I'm going to keep it. Here we have another Complex Culture brush. This one's great for contouring, and I don't necessarily like it for bronzer, but I do like it for contouring. You know, there's some density to it, which you need for contouring. And then you've got this side here that's very fluffy that helps blend it in, so I'm going to keep that. Here's yet another one of these Real Techniques brushes. This is another light layer blush. Do I have two of these? I do. Dang, I have two of these. Okay, I don't need either one of those. Here is one here. This is from Luxie. And this is the Tapered highlighter brush. Now, I have quite a lot of highlighter brushes, so I hate to say it, but I'm going to pass that one on. This is an SL Miss Glam brush. This is a nice little brush. I love the color green. And this is a round blush brush. This is way too small to be a blush brush for me. So I use this to sort of put powder, set my concealer with powder. So I probably will keep that one. And then the last of the face brushes here, I will bring these all forward. Okay. So this is from Benefit Cosmetics, and this is their Hoola bronzer blush. I love this brush for bronzer, so I'm going to keep it. This one is from Sigma, and this is the Soft Blend brush. I love Sigma brushes, and this is so fluffy. Oh, I love these kind of brushes. I'm going to keep that. Then we have here, this is a masked buffing brush, so like another, but I like them a little bit larger, so I'm going to pass that on. This is a Farrah contour brush, and I don't have, other than the Complex Culture, I don't have any specifically for contour, so I'm going to keep that. Then from Luxie again, what do we have here? This is the Duo Fiber Powder Brush. Do I need this though? I really don't need this, so I'm going to pass that on. Then we have this brush. This is from Pharma. Again, it has just a number. It doesn't indicate what it's good for. I would say more contour, but I don't really need a lot of contour brushes. I've got two now, and that's more than enough, so I'm going to pass that on. Then we have, this is from the brand Cala, and this is a small fanned highlighter brush. I don't tend to use this style of brush for highlighter. I don't really like using this brush for highlighter, so I'm going to pass that on. Then I have two more brushes here from SL Miss Glam, and these are both the same. These are the Tapered face brush. I certainly don't need 2 of them, so I'm going to pass one on, and I'm going to keep the other. Then we have another Luxie brush here. This is the Luxie Tapered Highlighter Brush. This is way too big for me to be a highlighter brush, so I'm going to pass that on. And then we have the Motor brush here. And again, this one is a highlighter brush. What about, I think this one, where this one is a little smaller, I think I'm going to keep that one. And as far as this Wet n Wild one, I'm going to pass it on. Alrighty, so that was the face brushes. And now we're going to go into the eye brushes. So I'm just going to set these up and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back and now we have the eye brushes. So let's start, we'll go right to left. So this right here, and I do want to make sure I don't have any more in this line. Let's see, I don't think I do. I don't see any more in this line. So these are from, just pull you back a little. So these are from Doll 10 and the collab that they did with Makeup Molly. And I think this is all of the brushes. So what we have here is this set of brushes. You've got this is called the Prepping Perfector. So this is what you would use to blend an eye primer and to set that eye primer with powder. So that's what you would use that one for. I'm gonna say this is a maybe. So the next one here I want to show you is called the Transition Transformer. And this one is what you would use to apply your transition shade all over the eye. This is a nice little brush set. I think I'm going to keep that. And then we have these other brushes here. We have the Crease Creator right here. This is a little more fluffy and the bristles are a little longer. This is great for just applying shadow in the crease. And then this is the Dimension Detailer. Excuse me, the Dimension Designer. And this is, again, it's a crease brush. It's a little more dense. So what this is great for is darkening up the crease a little bit. And it's perfect for that and for applying shadow to the outer V. Then we have this brush here, which is the Shadow Shader. So this is a flat shader brush right here that you would apply color to the lid. And then lastly, we have this one, which is the Detail Dazzler. So something like this is perfect for applying a shimmery shade to the inner corners of the eyes, for applying shimmer under the brows, or buffing shadow underneath the eyes. So that's a great little kit, and I'm going to keep that kit. Then we have the next brush here, and this is from Luxie, and this is the blending brush. This one, I have to say, I don't like as much because there's not enough bristles here for me. It's rather thin, and I prefer something a little bit wider for blending, so I'm going to pass that on. Then I have a couple of these brushes here from Real Techniques. I'm sorry, not Real Techniques. These are from Morphe and the Jeffree Star. I don't purchase any Jeffree Star products, and I don't really have a need for these brushes, so I'm going to pass them on. Now, before I go on, let me see if there's any more of those, and I see 3 of those. Oops, that one. So I see these 3 here from the Jeffree Star collection. I'm going to pass those on. Okay, then we have this brush here. This is from Sigma, and this is the Blending E25. This is a fantastic brush. I'm going to keep it. This brush here is from SL Miss Glam. It's her SS57, but I don't know, there's no name for it, but it's a beautiful, light, fluffy, and I love the color and the bristles. I'm going to keep that. Then from here we have, which one is this? This is a Moda. This is the Triad I Brush. This one I used to try and blend my eye primer, but unfortunately it just wasn't really good at that, so I'm going to pass that on. Then we have this brush. This is from Nabla, and this is a nice flat shader brush. I do like these, so I'm going to pass that on. Oops, here's another one of those from Jeffree Star I'm going to pass on. These two brushes came in a set from It Cosmetics, and they're both double-sided, so this one is nice. It has that nice fluffy shape for applying shade to the crease, and then you've got, this is more of like a flat shader brush here, and then this one here is more of a detailer brush. This is great for darkening the outer V or using it to apply shimmer in the inner corners. And then you've got this slanted side over here, which is great for applying shadow under the eyes, etc. So these are great brushes. I'm going to keep those. Then I have these 3 eye brushes here, and from the same brand, which is Farrah. And we have a mini tapered brush, a concealer brush, and an angled brow brush. I particularly don't like this type of concealer brush. I'm going to pass that on. I do like the size of this slanted brush. I do like the size of this, so I think I might hold on to that one. And then this is a nice blending brush. It's a very, very nice one. I think I'm going to hold on to that. We have another, this is another Moda brush. I don't really need it. I'm going to pass that on. Then we have, this is a BH blending brush. This is a nice brush. This is great for darkening up the crease. It has just a tiny bit of density to it, but yet it blends it out really well. I'm going to keep that. This is from Bogashi, and this is a flat concealer brush. I'm not a real fan of these flat concealer brushes. But do I want to keep this? I think I'm going to hold on to it. Let's see here. Then we have these 3 brushes. These are from Real Techniques. So this one is, it doesn't say. I don't like it when they don't say what they're made for. Anyway, you've got a nice little blending brush here. This one is one I used to use to apply my primer to. And then I've got this double. I have a ton of these, so I'm going to pass all 3 of those on. Let's see here. So then we have this one here. This is from Fenty Beauty, and this is the eyeshadow brush. This is great for applying shadow to the lid. It's great for even buffing out the shades in the crease, and I'm going to hold on to that. Then we have this one here. This one is from, I'm not sure what this one's from, what brand this is from. It's sort of got like a little bit of a pattern on there. It's a nice size. I think I'm going to hold on to it. I have another, let me grab these. So I have these 3 here from Nabla. This is a nice crease brush. This is a more pinpointed brush for applying like the outer V. And then you've got this nice like little pencil brush with the short fibers. This is great for, you know, detail work. So I'm going to hold on to those because I think those brushes are such good quality. Then let me just grab all the brushes in my Morphe set. So, whoops, that's not Morphe. I guess I just have these here. So this was a set from Morphe. It did come with another brush. I'm not sure where that is. You know, I have so many brushes and they're all similar to this. I'm going to pass them all on. Okay, let's see. We have another Morphe. This one is from Bodyography. This one here. And this is a flat shader brush, and I love this brush. I'm going to keep it. This one is from Morphe. And I do like the shape of this. I'm going to keep that one. Then I have these brushes here from various different brands. This one is a Sigma concealer brush. Again, I don't use this type of concealer brush, so I'm going to pass that on. This is an AOA Studio, and this is like a little, could be used for the brows, or it could be used to apply liner, you know, a little shadow under the eyes. I'm going to hold on to it. Then we have here, this is a Japonesque brush. I have had this brush for years, and it's such good quality, and it's lasted such a long time. It's just a flat shader brush. I'm going to keep that. And then we have a firmer brush here. This is also another flat shader brush. I already have a couple, 2 or 3, so I'm going to pass that on. Then we have, grab all of these. So then we have this set here. This one is actually, let's talk about these two first. These are from e.l.f. And this is, it doesn't say what it's, you know, it's just a pencil brush. I think I might hold on to that. And then this is an e.l.f. Brow and this is an e.l.f. brow brush. I'm going to hold on to those. This is an SL Miss Glam brush, really pretty. This is a SB68. I really don't, it's a little thicker than my typical flat shaders, so I'm going to pass that on. Then we have these brushes here. This is another one from BH Cosmetics. This is a large shader brush. I already have that one from Doll 10. I'm going to pass that on. This is another Wet n Wild brush. And again, it doesn't say what it is. I'm going to pass it on. Now, these two brushes here are from Makeup by Mario. This is his set. And it doesn't say, oh, this is a smudge brush. And this is a blending brush. I like his brushes here, so I'm going to keep those. Now let's move everything down. I have these two that are the same. And this is from Luxie. This is a small shader brush. I think I'm going to keep that. And then this is a large shader brush, and I really don't need that. I'm going to pass it on. This is a Luxie. This is a precision crease brush. To me, it's too thin to be a crease brush. It's a great flat shader brush, but I don't need one of those. So I have this one here from Smashbox, and this is the blurring concealer brush. I already have quite a few that I love. I'm going to pass that on. This one is from Moda. This is a blending brush. Again, it's just a flat shader brush, so I'm going to pass that on. This one here is from Persona. I love this brush from Persona. This is perfect for applying a darker shade in the crease. Keeping that. Then we have this one from Pigment Packer. What brand are you? MOTD. This is a Pigment Packer brush. I think I'm going to hold on to that one. And then we've got these last 4 brushes here. So this one is from Sigma. I love Sigma brushes. This is the E30 Pencil Brush, and I'm going to keep it. I like how small and narrow that is. Then from Lorac, this came out of one of her palettes. This is a very respectable brush. So you've got a nice crease brush here, you know, for blending shadow. And then this little brush here you can use as a flat shader brush or as a detail brush. Gonna keep that. This is a little baby e.l.f. Lip brush, I believe. Yeah, it doesn't say what it is, but it's perfect for lips. So I'm going to hold on to that, as I only have a couple of lip brushes. And then this is an e.l.f. blending, eyeshadow blending brush, which I'm going to keep. Now, lastly, I have some clean brushes here that I had in an organizer that I'm also going to go through. So let me put all of these out. And these are the last of the brushes that I have that we're going to go through. Okie dokie. So we have this one here. This is from Pat McGrath. This was her highlighter brush, and I don't care for it. It's got dual, different sizes of bristles on here. It's got the longer ones, and then it's got these little shorter ones on the outside. I could never get the hang of using that, so I'm going to pass that on. This is from Sigma, and this is the Maxi Kabuki brush. I like the edges on this one, but I have so many blender brushes, I think I'm going to pass that on. This one is a Sonia Kashuk. This is a very old Sonia Kashuk brush, but still in great condition. This is a foundation blender brush, and I think I'm going to pass that on. Then I have this brush here. This is again an old Sonia Kashuk brush. I wish that they put on here what they were made for. This I would use more for concealer, but I have a ton of those. I'm going to pass that on. This one here is from Real Techniques. This style brush does not have anything on it. This is more like, I would say, like a foundation applicator brush, but I really don't use those. And I already have one that I can use. So this is a Sephora Featherweight blending brush. I just don't know what I would use this for. Featherweight blending? I mean, I just don't know what I would use it for. I think I'm going to pass it on. Then we have an eye brush here. This is from AOA Studios. This is a pencil brush. I already have a few. I'm going to get rid of it. This is the e.l.f. and Nabella Noor brush. It doesn't indicate what it's used for. This is a brush that I would typically use to apply shadow under the powder under the eyes. I think I'm going to pass it on. This is an old Wet n Wild foundation brush, and I just don't have any need for it. That's going to go. This is from Sonia Kashuk. I decluttered the concealer brush, and I'm going to declutter this one. I don't like these brushes. Then we have from Luxie, we have a Pro Precision Tapered brush. Well, that's all well and grand, but what the heck would I use this for? I don't really have a need for it, so I'm going to pass it on. Then we have here, this is from Milani. This is their foundation brush. I do like this. The problem is it's not quite dense enough for me. The size is fine. I just think it's not quite dense enough for me, so I'm going to pass that on. Then this is an old Real Techniques brush. This is the setting brush, but I already have a newer version of this, so I'm going to pass that on. And then lastly, we have some brushes here, some eye brushes. This is an old Wet n Wild eye brush I'm going to pass on. This one here, I don't know the brand of it. This is like a flat shader. I have plenty. I'm going to pass it on. This one from Real Techniques, it's a little different. It's quite dense, and the bristles are rather short. And I think it's too dense for me, for the crease, so I'm going to pass that on. And lastly, we have this brush here from Kala. This is like a little lip brush, but I already have a couple of those, so I'm going to pass that on. So that is everything, So that is everything I'm decluttering in my makeup brush declutter. Let's count the brushes and see how many I'm decluttering. Alrighty, so of all the brushes I am decluttering 75 brushes. Let's count how many I am keeping. I'm keeping 53. So that's really good. I tend to have a hard time with brushes, but this one wasn't quite so difficult. But you know, it might not look like there's 76 here, but don't forget there's a lot of little shadow brushes here that are very small. So yeah, that's incredible. I'm very happy with that declutter. So as I said, all these brushes being decluttered will, I'm going to wash them down. These here are clean, but these here have to be washed. So one of these days I'm going to wash all these brushes down, and I am going to send them off to Project Beauty Share. And they will further sanitize them and send them off to women's shelters. So leave me a comment down below if you found this satisfying, if you found this helpful. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you're advised of all my future uploads. I love doing declutter videos, and what I'll do is I'll link my declutter playlist in the description box down below. So I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!